Despite the UN Convention called Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide being signed in 1948, genocide still occurred in Rwanda in 1994 and also in Bosnia and Herzegovina in 1995. Throughout history, genocide has always occurred under the same social conditions. When victims testify how genocide was committed, the listener's human response is compassion, condolence, pity and sympathy. At this moment, both parties feel helpless. Often this is met with some confusion around who committed genocide and why it has happened. Sometimes even the victims can't see the real cause of genocide and who is responsible for it. The aim of this exhibition is not just about the exchange of these feelings. In addition, we would like to develop a better understanding of who has committed genocide, why it has happened, and who is responsible for it. Often, because of their large numbers, the perpetrators of these war crimes count on not being brought to justice. This exhibition underlines the importance that all war criminals must be brought to justice. Current and future generations will see that war crimes will be punished and will not be tolerated.
Born in Bosnia, used to work in Sarajevo before the war, during the war, and after the war I left Bosnia, came here. I'm an artist. I used to be, and I started to paint here when I came in Australia. And I've been an artist almost 40 years, and I'm trying to do. And the last paintings I did, that's actually my story about Srebrenica, or the Bosnian War. My story is the story about black holes, Bosnian black holes. It means the holes like caves where the Serbs, Chetniks dropped the bodies, cut the heads, and fill that black holes. The story about these black holes is a very long story, long in history, because that's black holes exist a long time before this war. During the Second World War, they used the same holes and dropped the bodies. And now, in the recent time, when they discovered those holes, and many of them are not, they found that the bones of some people, they dropped in that holes before the Second World War, during the Second World War, and during this war. It means that traditionally killing the people in Bosnia, that's actually the sad story which I try to say and show in my pictures. The tragic story about long history of killing, cutting heads of the Bosnian people. Nothing much than that, I think that's enough.
I would now like to call and introduce Nijema. Welcome. So Nijema, you completed a degree in visual arts majoring in photomedia from the College of the Arts. And you're originally from Karnats?
Yeah, I'm from Bratunac, which is about 10 kilometers from Srebrenica.
And being a young artist with such a life experience definitely contributed a lot to this exhibition, both digitally and through your, as we can see behind us, your La Vita e Bella installation. And I guess when we went through it, and obviously because it's an installation, we find a lot of visitors come through the eyes, especially children, and they head straight for the buses and the guns. But I guess what I was wondering was, with the use of the medium that you've used, you've got the bus, which represents the everyday, and then you've got it side-by-side alternatively with a gun, basically, which is, I guess, a figure of trauma and horror. And then in the middle, the black laminate vision of Australia, you can kind of almost look into it and see your reflection. What motivated your choices of this medium?
Well, it's kind of nice to hear that the kids sort of rushed through it right away, because I employed the medium of toys as a way of getting kids to engage, or anyone for that matter, because when we're small, one way of learning about life is through play. So anybody can easily identify with a toy gun or toy bus. But I'm always playing off the double meanings here. So, on one hand, for instance, the gun is the symbol of death, but on the other hand, it's also a symbol for protection. And in my installation, the gun is sort of forcing the buses. The guns are forcing the buses to move, which is about the relocation of the Bosnian peoples to Australia. But at the same time, it's providing us with protection in Australia. It's like a circle of protection that we're surrounded by now.
And also with the title itself, it's almost like the old worldly, like European buildings, and you'll see the letters and the numbers of the buildings printed onto the side of the wall. With the title of the actual installation, so it's reflective on Roberto Benigni's Life is Beautiful, the movie. What informed your choice in the title of the installation?
Again, it's this kind of, sort of double meaning happening there. Yes, the title of the work is rather positive, life is beautiful, life does go on. It's very important, after we have been through, or after we have survived war, it's such a profound experience in everybody's life. And I don't think that people, unless they have been in that situation, actually are aware that will continue to influence you and inform your emotional reality, and probably until the day that you die. So, one of the things that really comes up for everyone is perspective, and that doesn't just mean, looking back and understanding what happened, but also looking forward and looking for a solution and finding a way to carry on with your life and to make meaning of all your experiences and to transform it into something positive. and hence the title La Vita è Bella, and paying homage to the Second World War movie, which also carries a very optimistic and inspiring message about the future.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jill. Okay, thank you.
My name is Sabina Husik. I'm 25 years old. I finished a degree in visual arts, majoring in digital media at SCA. I'm currently a high school teacher. I teach at Granville South Creative and Performing Arts High School, and I love my job. The work with Bosnian Ethnic School started about 2.5 years ago when I decided to volunteer some of my time and teach Bosnian language to the younger generation of Bosnians. Even though my Bosnian wasn't up to scratch itself, I came here when I was 10 years old. So I tried my best to relearn and learn some new things, and I fell in love with the kids and have been teaching there ever since on a volunteer basis. I wanted to work with the Bosnian community to bring up our profile a little bit more into the Australian society. I think that a lot of us have lived through a lot and have achieved wonderful things, especially the younger generation, people who are maybe 20 to 35 years old at the moment, who came to Australia about 5 to 10 years ago, even though they have lived through the most horrific instances of war and been through so much. Some of them have lost their immediate family members, like mothers and fathers. These people who are my age now are absolutely awesome and very resilient. However, I think it is also very important not to forget what has happened in the past, and in order for us not to repeat it ever again. The situation in Bosnia is chaotic still politically. However, there is no more shelling, so I guess that's very important. So in order for us to kind of learn what went wrong, we need to retrace our steps and kind of take a look back at what's happened in Srebrenica, as well as the rest of Bosnian cities like Visegrad and Gorazde and Foča and so many other cities that have suffered thousands and thousands of deaths of innocent civilians, mostly young boys, men and elderly men. Women were raped and tortured. A lot of stuff has happened. So my artwork, finally to get to it. I worked with the high school students of Bosnian Ethnic School to introduce to them the concept of Srebrenica. I didn't want to shock my students with footage of decomposing bones and bodies, so I decided to show them Srebrenica as it was, a town that once was well known for its resources in silver and in all sorts of materials. It was a rich city and it had a lot to offer. I showed them what Srebrenica was before the war, and then I slowly told them about what had happened. I am against using strong imagery. And I think that really words have a lot more power than images do, because we're so I guess numbed down by the media in general. So and religiously as well, for me, the word has a lot more power than any image or any painted picture that you can kind of put forward. So I decided to get the prayer that Efendija Cerić, the Grand Mufti of Bosnia and Herzegovina, gave to the Srebrenica victims, and it sums up basically the feelings of the people that have lost so much, and it gives a really, really good moral point where we should not seek revenge, and it underlines the fact that revenge should come in the form of justice. So justice for the people that were murdered by, I guess, imprisoning the perpetrators through our court of law. Anyway, I decided to record the students saying this prayer in Bosnian and in English. I wanted to weave a sort of tapestry where the voices and the sounds would blend into each other and the text would kind of blend into the white background. So it became quite a spiritual piece. I didn't want the voices to sink in together because I wanted each voice to be an individual for itself in a way. The painting, it's my first attempt at a painting, so I'm not that happy with it, but I think it reinforces the idea of guidance and of prayer, because in the end, prayer is really supposed to be the seeking of guidance, and I guess with so much pain and so much sorrow, that is what the victims need, to seek guidance, and that is, I guess, what the perpetrators need as well. So that's it.